off with the presentation, with the first presentation, which will be by myself about the tech bubble. So before, if we look back to last week or the past 2 weeks, Luke has been explaining to us why we might be in a bubble. And over the course of the last week, a lot of people have been saying things that make us confirm that belief. And I just wanted to bring that closer to everyone. Just before we get into specifics, though, I want to recap what a bubble actually is. Luke always uses the example of baked beans, so I thought I would do the same. So what a bubble is if baked beans decides that they can cure cancer, not decides, or if somebody says that they can do that, baked beans immediately will increase in value. Now, people will think that it's not just baked beans that cure cancer, but any other type of beans might do the same thing. So people start investing in green beans, and green beans start going up. Now, another person thinks that because beans are served in a can, the can might have something due to it, so he's going to start investing in chickpeas, and chickpeas go up in price as well. The same thing happens with lentils. And now one weirdo hears all this stuff and decides that all of these ingredients are used for curry, so he's going to invest in his grandmother's curry shop. And as that happens, everything goes up in price, and we know that beans, unfortunately, do not cure cancer. Now, if I explain this by the example of Tesla, I hope that some of you actually, and I know this for a fact, did some research on Tesla, because Tesla is one of the most chosen companies to do research on in your introduction meeting. And when you do that, you can see that Tesla hasn't made money from their actual company operations ever. As long as they have existed, they have never made profit. How weird is that this company is so hyped? They're all over the news. Elon Musk is the richest person on Earth, he's the richest person on Earth. And it's just going out of the roof, but they're not making any money as a company. How does that even work? And why is it so going through the air? And it's just a confirmation of everything that we've been talking about, that people invest in the stock, the media hypes it, everybody jumps on board and wants to make some money off of it. What we haven't told you yet, which is also a very big factor, is Tesla has been promoted to the S&P 500 last December. The S&P 500 is the index used to pretty much display the development of the entire U.S. market. That means that it's called the S&P 500 because 500 companies are supposed to represent the entire economy. And Tesla is now one of these companies. Why is this a good thing or a bad thing? The S&P 500 is such a strong stock. It's such a strong index, and it represents the economy so well that pension funds invest into this. So a pension fund, maybe some of you don't have it yet because you're students or for other reasons, but if you do have a pension, it's very likely that you're invested in the S&P 500. So you are basically directly investing in Tesla. But we know that Tesla isn't a great company, so we don't really want to be invested in that. But a whole bunch of other people are doing the same thing. Now, based on Adam's presentation last week, Tesla bought 1.5 billion in Bitcoins. So the Bitcoin price went up immediately. Tesla is going up over the past year. They've been doing incredible stuff with their price action. Now, why is Bitcoin relevant? Well, because Tesla is part of the S&P 500 now. Bitcoin is part of the S&P 500 now. And we don't have any confirmation yet if Bitcoin is actually going to work over the long run. Maybe it will. It looks like it will. But there's no proof of concept. So we don't really want people to make these types of decisions with our money that's in our pensions right now. So this all really just points towards that people are going completely nuts. They're ignoring all the numbers, and they're just throwing more and more money and trust into Tesla, which is a company not worth talking about. And this is happening across the board. Apple is going up, Facebook is going up, Amazon is going up. Adobe, even though it's a Lead Pass approved company, they're going up. They're actually valued right now 8 times of what our value is. So they're massively overpriced. And then something like GameStop happens, where a whole bunch of people make a whole bunch of money. And now they think that they're professional traders and that they know what they're doing. So there's all this confidence in the market where people will just start investing in random stuff. And this isn't good. Or it just points that everything is going up. So it kind of confirms the bubble. Now, Luke is a really serious guy. But if any of you guys have met Luke or know him kind of like me, you know that he does some silly stuff and says some silly stuff over the course of time. So we just want to question whether or not he's right. And one of the ways that we can do that is by looking into who else has invested or who else is saying similar stuff to what Luke is saying. Now, going back to the recap, what happens when a bubble reaches its top? People throughout the entire world will start taking out their profits. The people that understand the market know that they've made enough money and that this growth can't be attainable anymore. So they start selling. And here's a picture of Warren Buffett looking at his cards, thinking about whether or not he should sell. And what happens? Buffett last week sold all his shares in Apple. Bill Gates made a public statement saying that people shouldn't be trusting Tesla as much because it's getting completely out of hand just because they're now also buying Bitcoin. You can even just do a simple Google search and say, how should I invest in 2021? And you'll find articles saying, look to the 2000.com bubble, similarly to what Luke said. And this is all happening over the past week. Most importantly, UBS, they're one of the biggest banks in the world. They released an article on Bloomberg saying we should get ready for another global equity rotation. And a global equity rotation is really just people will start taking their profits out of an area where they've made a lot of money and start investing it in different areas because they know that the growth isn't attainable. So that exactly means we might be in a bubble. People are taking out their profits. And UBS did it themselves. So Luke seems to be right in this. What does this mean for us as Lead Pass investors? We're doing our research based on what a company actually does. We have to trust in the entire process of figuring out how much a company is actually worth and value, and find companies, these little gems in the sand, that actually are worth investing in. So it's really just being aware of what's happening, but also a company like Adobe, if the bubble pops, they're going to dip down below our margin of safety, and that's when we buy. So we're just waiting here, ready to pick some cherries when they're ripe.